Hello, you're listening to E-Bible Fellowship's new open forum excerpts, and now we present the following excerpt.
Welcome to our open forum program. Please go ahead with your call.
Could you go to John 2, verse 4?
Jesus saith unto her, Woman, what have I to do with thee? Mine hour is not yet come.
And John chapter 8, verse 20?
John 8:20. These words spake Jesus in the treasury as he taught in the temple, and no man laid hands on him, for his hour was not yet come.
And Mark 13:35.
Watch ye therefore, for ye know not when the master of the house cometh at even, or at midnight, or at the cock crowing, or in the morning.
I gave a wrong reference there, but I wanted to do Mark 13:32. But of that day and hour knoweth no man.
Okay. Yeah, I can read that. But of that day and that hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels which are in heaven, neither the Son, but the Father.
I was wondering if it's possible that the different references of that day and hour, it reminds me of that Christ had his own specific hour separate from the day and hour that could be referring to the last day. So is it possible that when Christ, in this reference in Mark 13:32, is it possible that when we see that phrase day and hour, that in some references it has to do with the day of judgment, and in some references it may have to do with the hour that Christ would actually go through in 33 AD? Because it reminds me of the disciples who could not watch with him for an hour. And also when Christ said to the Sanhedrin, this is your hour. So could that have something to do with the fact that it's in that genitive possessive case that the hour that's being referred to in certain verses could actually be referring to the judgment that Christ specifically would endure, and not the general day and hour that we actually think.
I think it helps to understand when we read no man of that day and hour knoweth no man, and here in Mark, no, not the angels which are in heaven, neither the Son, but the Father, that day and hour are synonyms for judgment. And the particular judgment could change. And that's why, in trying to understand Mark 13:32, we've pointed out that to know in the Bible can mean to experience. There's a number of verses in the Old Testament that show that. And so this is saying of the judgment Christ did not know, the Son did not know. He did not know, and it would be the references to his going to the cross in 33 AD. He had not experienced it. He had not experienced it, and that is called, as you're pointing out, an hour. It's called an hour. Now, you can also have reference to an hour of judgment, like in Revelation 14, in verse 7, saying with a loud voice, fear God and give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment is come, and worship him that made heaven and earth and the sea and the fountain of waters. Well, that's not referring to the cross. The Lord gave the revelation for the book of Revelation to the Apostle John towards the end of the first century AD. So it's not the cross, but it's, again, synonymous with judgment. And we would have to determine, well, which judgment is in view? And we know that the last hour of the workday, the 11th to the 12th, in the parable of the workers hired to go work in the vineyard, that last hour points to the hour of judgment on the church, the Great Tribulation. It was the last hour for salvation, where that great multitude became saved. So yeah, that helps. And the churches, basically, maybe they don't think about it, but they too are understanding no man knows the day or hour as a synonym for judgment, because we begin talking about Judgment Day, May 21, 2011, prior to that day coming, no man knows the day or hour. So they were understanding it, as meaning judgment and judgment day, judgment day. So either day or hour are synonymous for judgment, and we have to find other information to determine which judgment is in view. In the case of Christ, in Mark 13:32, the Son, it was the judgment at the cross. Same thing for the angels, because it was at the cross that Satan was bound, and that was a judgment of God to tie his binding to the Lord's demonstration on the cross in 33 AD. But as far as man, no man knows, no man has experienced judgment. That would point to the end of time, to the official day of judgment, our present time period that began on May 21, 2011. So yeah, I think that's a good, helpful way of looking at the word hour, and you could also do it with the word day.
Thanks for watching, and be on the lookout for more new open forum excerpts that will be added periodically.